Hi guys, the last class you should have watched or taken notes on translating symbols, okay? And on the back of that sheet there is on your own practice. We're going to go through a couple of these today, just in case you're struggling a little bit. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'll go through a couple, and if you need help, go ahead. One thing I would recommend, if you haven't done it already, at the very top of my paper I've written down some of the common symbols. That way you can refer to them without having to flip back and forth. But you should also have them on the front page of your notes. If you haven't filled in your notes, go watch the videos on the notes and then come back and try this practice. So let's go ahead and get started. When we're translating a English phrase, when I'm translating words into logical math symbols, okay, we often use P and Q, okay, and P is the hypothesis, it's after the if. So when I read this, if I study hard, then I will pass my test. This first part after the if, I study hard, okay, that's the condition that has to be met for the other statement to be true. So P is I study hard. Okay. If I study hard, then I will pass my test. Okay. So the then, after the then, is what you should see for your second half of the conditional. Sorry, that blue pen has failed me the last time. Let's try again. And then I will pass my test. So I will pass my test. Okay. I'll let you try this one on your own. If I run really fast, then I will win the gold medal. Again, this one I feel like is very similar to the first one, but let's take a look at the second. Snakes are scary if I am a mouse. Now remember how we said that the condition, the hypothesis, right, has to be at the beginning? It's usually at the beginning, but what we're really looking for is this if. It's always going to be what follows after the if. So if I am a mouse, that is our P. That is our hypothesis. If I am a mouse. Okay? And the other part of that statement, you don't see a then, but it's assumed that this then is the conclusion. Snakes are scary. Okay? Let's try translating from symbols back into words, alright? So what we just did, having an if-then statement, is used by this symbol right here. And I'm going to highlight this symbol. Okay? And what this symbol means is if-then. It means I'm going to start with the words if, and then I fill in my P, and then I'm going to do then, and I write in my R. Okay, so looks like P is it is sunny. Okay, so if it is sunny, then, and now I'm looking for R, so I go up to the top. I'm like, okay, what are we doing here with an R? Looks like we've got an R here. Sorry about that. This will be our R. So then we will go to the beach. Okay? Alright, let's take a look at a couple other symbols and what they mean. Alright, so this one, alright, this symbol is an AND symbol. It means that these two are connected not with an if-then, but I write my first one, then I write and I write my second statement. So N is the first one that we're working with. N is up here. We won't go swimming. So we won't go swimming. And then this means and are, excuse me, which is we will go to the beach. And we will go to really just finding the correct statement to match the letter and then putting in the right word for the symbol. Let's look at this one and the biconditional, all right? So for this one, we have an if-then statement, but it has something special about it. We're going to do an if-then, but we also have to negate or do the opposite of P. So N starts out the same, but I have an arrow, which means if-then, so I start with if, and then I'm going to use N, which is we won't go swimming. Won't go swimming. Okay. Then I have my then. If we won't go swimming, then, because the if and the then is the part for this. If, then. And now not P. So we have to find P, which is it is sunny, and this means the opposite, right? Opposite of P. So the opposite of it is sunny is it is not sunny. Okay, this not symbol, this not is what changes it from being the way it was to its opposite. Okay. Next up, we've got a biconditional statement, which is if and only if. There's two arrows instead of one, and we'll be talking a little bit about more about those as well. Starting with R, we will go to the beach. And then the biconditional here means if and only if. It's often abbreviated as IFF, if and only if, or you can write it out, if and only if P, which is it is sunny. Okay, so this if and only if, we'll learn how to interpret that a little bit more next time, but be aware that that is, it doesn't start with an if and a then, it's an if and only if. Okay, then we've got our language here. Remember that this is going to be an or, so you say N or R, and then this is therefore. I didn't include this at the top here. Be aware that is therefore, which I cannot spell clearly. Okay. Therefore, P. Okay. So give that one a try on your own. Okay. Feel like you can probably give these a shot by yourself as well, but you might need a little bit help with the knots, right? So let's try making sure that you're solid on changing this. So see how it says not C? I'm going to start this off for you. This one starts with C being Kenzie is not human. Weird statement, but whatever. Kenzie is not human. So if I want to do the opposite of that, since there's already a not there, I can't say not. If Kenzie is not human, the opposite of that is that Kenzie is human, right? Kenzie is human. Because the opposite of not being human is to be human. Remember that it's not necessarily just putting in another not, that wouldn't make sense. It's stating the opposite. Okay, so this is the opposite of C. And of course it's an if-then statement, and I forgot to put my if at the front. That's okay. I can just put if right at the front here. So if Kenzie is human, then, and then it's then M. Aaron is a lizard. So if Aaron is a lizard, what's the opposite of being a lizard? Write down Aaron is not a lizard, okay? You can do that there. Let's also take a couple of these and see if we can figure out how to write them in notation, okay? So looks like we're starting out, we don't have an if, we have you are awake. If I look at this statement, it looks like the same statement as L up here. Nothing different about it. So L is this statement. And then I see the word or, Or is always going to be an operation. It's going to be a symbol, a logical statement. It looks like a V, an upside down and statement. So L, or you are cranky. Now here's the thing, when I look at you are cranky, I see almost that same statement, but it's not quite. We have you are cranky. This one is you are not cranky. So they have made it the opposite of that. Are not goes to are. Since they've changed it to the opposite, then we know that we're going to be using the negation or opposite not statement. Okay? And then cranky is RT. Okay, so the way we write this out is L, and then the or symbol, upside down V, not symbol, and then T. All right? Let's try one more of these. We can pick one out. How about this one? You are having fun if and only if you are awake. All right. So this if and only if part we know is going to be a symbol. If and only if. And let's see. Do we see you are having fun? We sure do. And it's the exact same statement over here. So are, nothing changed. Right? You are having fun, are, and then we see if and only if. Remember, if and only if is a biconditional arrow. It goes both ways. As opposed to an if-then, if and only if looks like this. You can think of if with one F, one arrow, two Fs, two arrows. Okay? And then you are awake. You are awake is exactly the same as the above statement, so we know that that's an L. Nothing changed, no negation. Okay. So hopefully this will give you some help. Make sure that you finish the problems that we did not complete here, and I'll be back to speak with you soon.